Hello and welcome to Take Your Time. This is Somejit Das here again back. Actually, for the last couple of months, I've been a little bit tied up with my personal life. There was a little bit time gap from the last video and the video that I'm going to publish now. So here I am again back. So hopefully, few new contents will be up and running. So in this particular video that we will discuss is how to make parallel and sequential API calls with RxJava. Now parallel and sequential, what do we mean by that? So basically parallel is something that you are going to hit multiple APIs parallelly. So you are not going to wait for one API response in order to hit another. So you will just hit three simultaneously or two simultaneously and you wait for their response to form a complete response. And for the sequential, as I have told previously, it's more like you first make one, then with the response of that one you make another, and it's more like that. So sequentials are mostly needed when one API response is needed to make another one. Now I can give you a basic example that you are making one particular API call where you get IDs of multiple orders, and further the second API call you hit by getting one ID at one time to get complete details of that particular order. So in that case, sequential API calls comes up. Now that's all from my introduction point of view. Now basically we will cover it up with the help of Flatmap and Zip. These are the two operators that we'll be using with RxJava. Now Flatmap is the first one that I will describe over here, and Flatmap will be used thoroughly to make the sequential API calls. Now basically what is Flatmap operator? And one more thing guys, I have not yet created RxJava video only based on operators, that what are the operators and how you are going to use them in RxJava. I have not done that because I believe there are so many contents available. But if you feel that there is a need for me to make that one, you can drop a comment. I can actually make one. Now with the help of Flatmap, so basically how Flatmap works. Now as you can see from the pictorial view, that is actually the marble diagram. I have taken it from the RxJava website. So basically what it says that you put one observable, that is the first line that you see at the top. That is an observable source that comes, and there is a rectangle border where inside this Flatmap Flatmap lies. That is a kind of operator that will work on the observable that is coming. So the red circle, so first focus on the red circle comes, that is an observable. It comes to the Flatmap operator, and in the Flatmap operator you do your necessary things. So basically you may use to transform the observable. You may use the Flatmap operator to use that observable to make another API call, or make your asynchronous database operations or something like that. And afterwards, at the end of the Flatmap operation, what will happen? It will emit another observable. So that is actually the rectangle observable that comes out of the Flatmap operator. So what it does, basically, an observable comes to Flatmap unwraps it, does the work you need it to be done, you need it to do, and afterwards it again wraps it and gives you back another observable. So it might be a transformed observable, it might not be. That is up to you how you are writing the operation in the Flatmap operator. So this operator transforms each item emitted by an observable, but instead of returning the modified item, it returns the observable itself, which can emit data again. So using this operator, we will be focusing on to make the sequential calls. Now the second operator that we have to analyze and understand, that is Zip operator. So basically what it does, it actually takes multiple observables together and combines them and gives you one observable, which is the combination of these two. So basically if you see the picture, the marble diagram here, the one in the first observable chain, so that is the first line, you see that one comes, and after a certain interval A comes in the second observable chain, and at the output, if you see, 1A has been combined together, 1 and A has been combined together to give you the result as 1A. So it will actually give you a combination of multiple observable sources at the output. So that is what zip is. Now we'll use this zip operator to make the parallel API calls. Now, how to write our observable chains with the zip operator as well as flatmap operator, that is what we are going to see. So the first one that you are seeing here is flatmap. So basically I will just tell you what is this. So the left part is the flatmap operation and the right part is the zip operation. So first let's focus on the flatmap operation. So I told you guys that flatmap, the first operation happens, and then using that observable what the first operation returns, using that one we will do the second operation, or we may not use it, but it has to be in a sequence. So in order for it to be in a sequence, what you have to understand over here, that the first one, that the second one has to go after the first one is done. So basically it has to wait for the so here what I am seeing, here from what I have written, you can understand that the first observable is something that we are working, and then after that we are writing the flatmap operator to work on the second observable, and then simultaneously we are again writing the flatmap operator to work on the third observable. Now in the second observable, if you can understand, the second observable will have the output of the first observable as the input of the flatmap operation. So in the first observable, the output that will come, that will be input of the flatmap operator, which is written in the line 2 in case of flatmap operation. Whereas, and all these things that you see in the subscribe chain, you will see in the response part, you will only get the output of the last observable. So basically what you will get in case of flatmap is, in the response you will get the output of the third observable. But you have to understand that it is quite evident that the third observable, that the flatmap operator that gives you the response of the third observable, it has the input of the second observable output. Now we will focus on the zip operation. So what is happening here? Here if you can see the first 4 lines of the chain, if you can notice that what I have written is zip, and there I have put first observable, second observable, third observable and a mapper. These 4 as a parameter of the zip operator. So what does it mean? So basically I am giving zip the 3 observable sources or even multiple observable sources at one time, and a mapper which will be used by zip when all these 3 or all the multiple observables gives me the data. Using this mapper, zip will actually create the combined output for me, and in the response I will get the combination of all these 3 observables. So now if you can draw an analogy from this observable to our API calls that we are going to achieve, what we are trying to do here, we have to make sure that each API call gives us an observable emission. So using that one, treat one observable as an API call. So in the zip, when we will write our flatmap operation to create to hit multiple APIs sequentially, then we have to make sure that the first observable is the first API call. Then in the flatmap we will be passing the second observable or the second API call. So we not we will pass, we will put our logic that we will make the second API call in the flatmap operator as the operator. Now in case of zip, what is happening is these 3 observables must be 3 API calls, and the mapper is one particular function which will be used by the zip to get all these 3 API calls responses and combine them together. Now we will dive into the code and see how we can actually achieve this functionality. So here what I have written as of now is, if you go into the presenter, I'll focus. Now the first thing that will work is the call 3 APIs sequentially. So what is happening? I'm just asking you to focus on this particular logic written over here. So what it does is, this all photos that you are seeing, it is none other than all these three these three are the three API calls that I will make using the Flatmap to make it sequentially one after another. Now get all photos is gonna give me the list of photos which is wrapped by single, because I want it to be an observable emission. And the second one is the get first post, and after that get comments for first post. So basically this and these are interrelated, but these two does not have any relation with this one. But I will I just want to make I just want to give you an example how to make it. So that is why I have taken these three as the API calls that I will make. So the first one, let's say, is the all photos are calling this particular method get all photos, which will be giving me a response which is defined as all photos, I think. And what I am trying to do over here, first this is the first observable, then I am putting subscribe on schedulers IO. That means I want the work to be done in IO thread. And then in the Flatmap, what I am doing is the second API call, that is the first post, means this one. And then I am again putting the Flatmap to go for the third API call. So that is for the comment for first post. And in the end, I am observing this on main thread, because I want the response on the main thread, because there might be many reasons, because I may have to change the UI, I may have to update the UI based on that one. So for that one I have to be on the main thread, and afterwards I am just logging it here that this is the result. Now we will see what we will get in the result in case of this, because now if this part of the code, if you can just have a understanding with this one. So here first observable, then Flatmap, and then subscribe. So first observable, second observable, third observable are coming here like this. And here also if you see that this is the first observable, then Flatmap, then second observable, then Flatmap, then the third observable. So that is what we are going to see. Now I'll just run this part of the code and see what will happen. So this is called 3 API sequentially. That is what I need to call. I think the parallel one is currently in place. So we'll just run it now and see what is happening and what we are getting in the response. So the Gradle build is happening. I think it won't take much time. Actually it should not, but I don't know why it is taking. Okay, application is now getting installed. So currently the API call is happening, and at the end I have a log of result. So I'll be getting something. Yes, I got it. So what is happening here? Let's say in the result I am only getting comment. Comment is something that is coming, right? Other than that I am not getting anything, because at the end the last API call is comments for first post, which will be giving me a list of comments. And here if you see post ID, name, email, body, and that is what I am getting, post ID, name, and all these things. So apart from comment I am not getting anything, right? But we have to make sure that other calls also happened, right? Otherwise how will you know that, how do you understand that these three actually happened? So in that case what we can do over here, we can have logic like this. Just give me a moment, I'll write this logic so that you can understand that all this happened. Sorry, why I am writing new. Okay, now in each of the cases what we will do, so here this is all photos, so this must be giving me photos. So what I will do over here, that list dot add photos is list of photos, so we'll just typecast it to string. And then in this one it will giving me a post, because this is the first post, so we'll just put like this so that we can understand this is a lambda one. And the same way we can write here post, and that's all I think. Yes, and here what we'll do, we'll just add another log before this, and this is it, I think. Yes, where the problem is, let me check once. Okay, it has to go here actually. Sorry, my bad. I will just put it here. Yes, done. And this one is my list, and we'll just comment this part, and we'll see if all these three API calls happened, then I believe that all these three responses will be added as a string to the list now. And now we will be logging the list part, so we can understand that all three happened simultaneously. Now we'll just run the code and we'll see what is happening. Now the API call is happening. So if you see that photo is there, which is the photos.toString that came up in the list, and then afterwards, after photo, once it ends, something will be there. Okay, it actually didn't show up. So let me just do something else over here. That okay. And one more thing I have not added over here, that the result is the last one that you will get. I have not added somehow, so list dot add result is also we have to add over here, because result gives me the response for the last one. So I have not added that one. So basically with the help of this one, you have understood that if photo is there, then there must be that this part of the code has been executed and this API call has happened, which is the first one, and there must be this first post has been done. Only that is because afterwards this comment for first post came up, because when we logged this result part, this comment for first post is the one which came up. So basically it is actually going in the sequence one after another. Now that is from the API calls when we are making sequentially, but there is one more thing here. What if one of the API call fails? So that is how you are going to handle it, because if one after another one these three are happening and one of them fails, the control will go to the error chain over here. Control will go to the error block in the subscribe block. So how we are going to manage that part? So your all these observables has something called on error returned. So using this one, you can actually mock a list of all photos. So let's say this one, I believe that if on error return I am writing over here, then I am understanding that if all photos fails, then what will happen. So I can actually create a list of photos, that is a mocked list, and I can pass the list over here with this. I can pass that list over here. So this API call, even if this API call fails, that mocked list will be returned as the observable to the input of this flatmap operation. So that is one thing. Now how we are going to achieve three API calls parallelly? So I have told you guys we will be using zip operation. So here also I am actually doing three API calls which has been defined here. The same three API calls I am doing. Now here if you notice that what is happening here, okay, this part you have to focus more. So zip single.zip I am doing because all these three API calls are giving me singles. So single.zip, this is the first API, comma, this is the second API call, comma, this is the third API call. So these three are the parameters which are the observable sources for the zip operator. Now after comma, what I have written over here, this is a function. This is a function, and this function till this part, this is the input and this is the output. So what does it mean? So retro class get normal API service all photos. What does it give me? This is giving me single list of photo. So function 3, which is the mapper, that is the first input of that one is list of photo. In with this I am telling that the first function, which is the first observable source, obviously this one, is gonna give me list of photos. And then the next one, first post, is giving me single of post, so I am giving post over here. And the third one is single list of comment, I am giving list of comment. So all these three are when I write these three as a parameter to this function, then this mapper will understand, okay, these are the three inputs that I have to get. I will get these three kind of inputs. And list of string, that is something where I am telling with this one that you have to produce a output of list of string. So what I will do over here, how you are going to make it, then I have to define what this function is supposed to do. Then if you see that here in this bracket I have written this type 1, type 2, type 3, these are the lambdas for basically this one and this one. These three observable sources come. I am creating a list of mutable string, and there I have added these three with after typecasting that to string, and at the end I am just returning this list. So when I say this list I am returning, that means this list is going in the going in the observable change after this block is executed. So what does this particular piece of code do? This is waiting for these three API calls to be completed, and afterwards it is combining all of them and giving us the response as a string of all these three. I mean list of string, obviously. Now at the end, when we are writing our subscribe block, if everything is perfect, then in the result we will get the complete list as the result, which is none other than a list of string. So let's just quickly run our application and see what is happening. In the meantime, I will just focus on the making multiple API call in presenter. So we'll see what is happening over here. Okay, let me run the application now. It's actually installing. Now the API call is happening. Three API calls are happening. Okay, if you see now that this result has this photo, and actually this is something of a problem. Not everything is getting showed up. So let me just tweak it a little bit. Okay, what I will do here is this one, all photos is giving me list of photos, right? So type 1 is the list of photos. I will do like this. So I will just take the first one out of those. Second one is the first post and the comments for first post. So this will give me list of comments. So I'll just focus on the first one, and then I think everything will be coming up. So we'll just run again and see, because this logcat is not able to show up everything. So now again the API calls are happening, and we will only take the first. Now see this result, we are only concentrated about the photos, first photo. So here you see that from here till here, this is the first photo, and afterwards post came up. That will be only one post, and then I think one comment will be there. This is the post, and see this is the comment, because I have taken only the first comment. So with this one we understood that three API call happened, and at the end we have got a result which is a combination of all these three. So using this zip operator you can make multiple API calls parallelly, and that is the way you have to do it. And again, if one more thing, so I have told you guys, I mean there is a scenario of error, how you are going to manage it. So you can actually do it like this, that this is my error photos list. in case the photos are somehow giving me some error. So you can write here on error return yes and error photo list. That's all you have to do. And in case this API call fails, then this one will work as a mock photo list. Now in order to fail this, we just have to do it this, and we'll see what we'll get in the output now. Because as we have changed the URL, obviously the API call is going to fail for this all photos, and we'll see what we are getting. We should be getting 1A, 1A and 2B. Now first one, obviously it should fail. Now see, this first one photo is the album 1 ID 1 ID 2 title A URL B and thumbnail URL C. That is what we have defined, and afterwards this post came up. Because the first one failed, as we have returned on error this one, that is acting as the mock one. Now if you don't write this one and run the application, then error will come, control will come here, because one of the API call fails. We'll again see this part also. Build is running and I have removed that on error return. See, error, one of the API call failed and HTTP 404 message came up. So in this particular video, I think it's clear how we are going ahead to make the make multiple API calls parallelly as well as sequentially with the help of zip operator as well as flatmap operator that is provided by Rx. And I think you have if you go through this video, it's more of a practical approach how I have demonstrated this. But if you really want to know further what is happening in behind the scene, you can please go through the RxJava articles that is provided in RxJava websites and few other blogs also there. Now if you want to really this code, I will upload this code in GitHub, and I'll share this code, the link of the code. And for the next video, further videos, what I'm planning is with RxJava videos also I'm planning some different videos also in pipeline. So basically someone who is not interested in Rx, he might get bored because all videos are coming right now for Rx. So that's it for this video. Keep in touch. I'll be uploading new video very soon, obviously in Android. And for other videos, keep subscribing and keep following me, and keep watching this channel. Thank you. Bye.